Hey everybody, welcome to the Fire Up with CJ show. Today we're going to be talking about your soul's evolution. And we have Dr. Linda Backman, and we're talking about her book, The Evolving Soul. So welcome, Linda.
Thank you, CJ. It's nice to be with you.
So I wanted to start talking about the soul's evolution because you have this really interesting little chart in your book that talks about souls vibrating at a certain color. And then that we also have like a progression that we go through. And I wanted to find out a little bit about what that is and how you found that out.
Okay. So bottom line, simple explanation, there's only one reason we come into body, lifetime to lifetime. And if we just really cut to the chase, we're coming into body to evolve as a soul. We're coming into body to evolve as a soul because we're intended to assist humanity to evolve.
Okay.
So that's, kind of the bottom line of a lifetime to lifetime. Through the course of both the person I studied with originally, who guided between lives regression, and then, his studies probably cover as many as 7,500 regression cases, CJ, that were not, prompted, along with mine, which I'm guessing maybe are at the point of 1,000 to 2,000. What we've learned is that as the soul evolves, the soul increases in frequency, and as colors shift through the colors of the rainbow, those colors increase in frequency. So a young soul tends to be on the more, pink to red range, if you will. And as we evolve through hundreds, if not thousands of lifetimes, so this isn't like, last lifetime I was in the stage 1, you might say the range of red, and next lifetime I'm in, the green range. It doesn't work that way. It takes a great number of lives to evolve. But the bottom line is, as we move through the colors of the rainbow, based on the frequency of our soul and the frequency of color, that's how, in a between lives regression that I guide with clients, we learn about one piece of information about how evolved is our soul.
And then how does that usually come across? Because you've talked about doing 1,000 different interviews with folks. Do they go into the past life regression wanting to know how evolved their soul is, or is it something that just kind of comes out in the course of the conversation? How do you elicit that information? Basically, how can I find out what age I'm at? And how evolved or not evolved? Let's cut to the chase.
That so many ask. So I think first comment to explain away any better, worse kind of perspective of, oh, well, it's better to be a green soul than be, an orange soul. Not true, because the bottom line is, you, like me, I'm sure, we go to first grade, we have to finish that, we go to second grade, third, fourth, and so on and so forth. So there's nothing better or worse about where we are in our soul's evolution. But when a client comes in for what I call a between lives soul regression, which is a moderately lengthy regression that I've been guiding for, 12 years maybe, many times clients want to know just what you said. Well, where am I in my soul's evolution? So during the regression, and giving you, rather than a 5-minute explanation, a minute or 2 explanation, during the regression, we ask about the perceived color of the client's soul. And at the same time, the regression therapist, and I train people in regression, the regression therapist has to understand what are the other sort of corroborating pieces of evidence during regression that support, the client is green, not orange, or the client is blue, not red. It isn't just about color. We have to piece together information that comes from the regression that substantiates the client's soul color.
Okay, got it. So, but and one of the things I thought was interesting in your book is that you said it kind of follows Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That the way that the soul progresses is trying to get, like you're saying, the first grade, second grade, so on, and graduate degree, I'd assume, is that it follows a progression. So in the first couple of lifetimes, you would be learning about first grade kind of stuff, like how to keep safe, how to, and then the second grade you'd be moving up that progression, which I thought was fascinating. And how did you find that out? Again, through the regressions with other people, or?
Yes, primarily through, I've been guiding, I'm a psychologist by training.
Yeah.
I started guiding past life regression in the early 90s. Then in the mid to late 90s, I learned about between lives regression. And that's where we learn about soul evolution, what is your soul color, so on and so forth. How did you plan your life, and a great deal more than that.
Right.
Then I began working with clients, 98, 99, to learn about where are we in our soul's evolution. And your analogy is perfect, CJ. And the bottom line is that, think about it, if you're in grade 12, right, the demands on you learning-wise are higher or more robust, or whatever word you want to put to that. Right. If you're in undergrad, that's more demanding than being in high school. Right. So if you're a blue soul, your life intentions are at a higher level of expectation. It's a little bit like, if you know anything about diving, competitive diving, the diver chooses a dive that has a degree of difficulty, and the points that diver receives are based on how well they accomplish the dive, but the more complicated dive brings the diver higher points. So right. If I'm a undergrad versus a high schooler, there's more expected of me.
Yeah, and actually something all of a sudden clicked in my head. When you said that, all of a sudden your chapter started coalescing in my head. And here's what I just came as my personal aha. I've been trying to, and we're going to be talking about this a little later on, try to figure out what ray I am of the 7 rays. And lifetime after lifetime, I seem to be coming in, trying to change things up, getting killed, mutilated, give up, a series of different expressions. But the interesting thing is each lifetime I have kind of a different approach. Some is about just kind of safety. Some is about, it kind of goes through that progression. But as you say in your book, I have a common theme that runs throughout, which is change, or I'm not sure if I'm ray 1 or 2, but it has kind of a theme that arcs through it. So I may be actually having the same theme in safety, where there are lives when I was a prostitute, there are lives in which I was a poor person on the street, where I'd be learning about physical safety or those kinds of things. But I'm sure I was trying to change something, I don't know what, but it feels like there's an arc, but I would experience the different levels. Also, I think that's what you meant, right? All of a sudden it's like, oh, I think I get it. Is that what you meant?
Yes, basically that is what I meant. The bottom line to the ray structure, and as you say, there's a chapter in The Evolving Soul about this, is that there are 7 possible, I like to call them either signatures of our soul or the backbone of our soul, which means we have an archetype or an orientation, one of these 7 that does not change lifetime to lifetime to lifetime, and that's called our soul ray.
It means so much to me that you're listening to the show. Would love your support in any way by giving me comments below, or to subscribe to the show, or share the show with friends. Thank you again for your support. Love and blessings.